Welcome everybody to our RealBird Hands-On Workshop. We're glad you can be here this fine Friday morning. Happy St. Patty's Day out there for those of you that are looking forward to turning your local rivers green and having a cold brewski. I myself, I don't drink, but nothing wrong with a bunch of happy people willing to turn green on this beautiful day. My name is Eric with Agent Web Coach. I'm a guest host on this webinar here today, and I've been asked to come and share what's working for real estate agents and leveraging the RealBird tools that are available to you. We're going to dive right into our content today, and we're going to talk about this is part two of continuing for what we presented 2 weeks ago. Oh, and by the way, thank you for joining our webinar. You're coming into our webinar room in listen only mode. We apologize for that, but there is an option within the webinar control panel for you to be able to ask questions and make comments. And I'm not alone on this webinar here today. We have Gabe Gross, and he's one of the owners and developers of RealBird, and he's here to help answer any questions you might have. And so we want to be there for you, and we want to elevate your market, help you elevate your marketing, stand out from the crowd, and build a following. That's one of the things I want to talk about today. You know, if you look at successful companies and successful businesses, they have a following. That is, people know who they are. People know what they do. They know how they do things differently, maybe than the next similar service. They stand out from the crowd. And how does a business do that? How does a real estate agent do that? That's what we want to talk about today. Now, how many of you ever heard of the concept of building a tribe? A tribe would be basically a group of people that follow you, that know who you are, that know how you're different, and they're excited to be connected to you. Now, no business can be successful if it doesn't have a steady stream of consumers that need your services. And how you build that tribe, that's up to you. But I want to talk about some of the things that you can do to basically let people know who you are so that they can see you as a resource, see you as an expert, okay? And so they'll attach to you. Now, our real estate clients, the typical people that you'd want to come work with you, are they typically loyal? I would tell you, different parts of the country, it's easier for consumers to be loyal to a real estate agent. Yet you have the opportunity to. We talked last 2 weeks ago, or part one. We talked about all the different places that you can be with your profile, so that people can find you. We listed some here. All the different places. And the key, I think a lot of real estate agents, because I've been doing this a while, working with real estate agents in their more online marketing and offline marketing. And what I've learned is already by the content that you're creating, you're sharing listings, you're putting your profile in these different places, already your profile is out there for a way to people to be able to connect to you. These are just some of the places. There's different places where your reviews are. Remember, I shared with you, if you were here last week, we talked about, and by the way, this webinar is being recorded so that you can get a copy and watch and listen again. So we talked about there are different places where reviews of past clients, whether you represent them as a seller's agent or buyer's agent, there's many places for those reviews to go. Some of them are you can ask for them, but most of the reviews, well, people can review you on their own without doing anything. Places like Yelp and Google Plus and Facebook, and then but you can also invite people to review you, and those reviews are gold, literally gold. And I shared with you last time that where's the best place to have your reviews to get the most impact, and that would be that would be I would say Zillow, which used to be truly a Zillow before they were separate. You could have two different places where people could review you. Now, if they review you on Trulio, it shows on Zillow. Zillow shows on Trulio. But this one, no matter what you feel about Zillow, it's the best place. You'll get the most bang for your buck for your reviews. But that doesn't have to be the only place you get your reviews. That's just the one place that's more valuable than anything. Okay, so the idea is your profile is already being built without you even, just because you're, in a way, you're a public figure as a real estate agent, because what you do is public. You're a marketer of properties. That's what people hire you to do, or they hire you to help them find properties. Although that's happening less and less, more and more, it really has really significantly changed the last, I'd say, 5 years, to where, as a buyer's agent, if you're thinking as a buyer's agent, my job description as a buyer's agent is to help people find properties. More and more, that's not the case. More and more, with all these resources out there for people to find homes on their own and do their own investigation and their own research, if they're coming to you, a lot of times they've already seen a property. Now, the property might have been a FSBO, or and that's okay too. It might have been one they found in the public. Most MLSs across the country, maybe you don't realize this, most MLSs across the country have a public side to them. I know, like I'm in Utah, so there's your individual's website, but then there's also Utah home. I think it's Utah Homes for Sale, and it's basically everything that's in the MLS, but it's branded generally for the public. And you might not know that, but that's a good thing to know and understand. So, but the idea is most buyers are probably going to come to you because they already found a property. If they're coming to you, that means they need help. They need help getting more information that they got stopped at. Hey, I found this information, but if they're coming to you, that means they trust you as a buyer's representative, and that they need more than, and this is the key, they need more than help looking for the house. They need representation. They need negotiation skills. They need an advocate on their side. Maybe they're contacting you and they're not quite ready to buy. They need to sell something first, or they need to clean up their credit, or the idea is, if they're coming to you and trusting you and asking you, or come by referral, that's a person in your tribe. It's just same thing if you would have people that would trust you to sell their home. But you need to build that database. You need to build that database of people that see you as an expert. And anytime they contact you, you need to be gathering information. You have to, all the time, when people contact you, you have to be, hey, let me update my contact information for you. Let them. And some of those people might be connected with you because of Facebook. Some people might be connected with you through Trulia or Zillow. Some of them might be connected through less and less Twitter and Google Plus, but those are probably two of the areas that they might be connected with you. But you got to put them in your database, and you got to put like a rating to them. Is this a person that would refer me or would trust me if they needed real estate? Building that database is huge, and the database is your gold. Many of you have been in the industry probably 5, 10, 15, 20, some of you 30 years. I work with agents, RealBird customers that are using the RealBird toolbox, and some of them have been in business 30 plus years. And one gal in West Virginia, and she's retiring. She says, Eric, I'm slowing down. And my question to her was, where's your database? That's where your gold is. A database is a list of people that know you as an expert. Now, you might not know at what level they are, how loyal they would be to you. I'm going to tell you, nowadays, with the younger generation, guess what? They're less loyal. I have a son who's 33, and I've seen how the younger millennials, how they use technology, and he might be a person that might not stick in your database, or you might not know where he sits. If he trusted you, maybe he needed a evaluation on a home or was looking for some property. But basically, the younger they get, the less loyal they are. It's kind of, what have you done for me lately? And I can do a lot of this research on myself. So you better be clear about what tools you bring as a buyer's agent, so that you can understand that you do more than just help them find a property, because they might be bringing a property to you. So that's something to consider. So where's your? We talked last time. Where can you be found? And now my next question to you is, where's your database of people? Where's your database of people? You need that. Why? Because you need to share things with them to be an expert. Um, I had some clients they're in Orange County, California, and they do a monthly newsletter on a page within a blog within their website, and where they generate an article about how things are in the OC marketplace, and they happen to specialize in an area of Southern California called Laguna Woods, which is a senior community, and so they generate a newsletter, and I would put it online, but we also email it out to them. We use a program called iExact. Now, I don't know what database you're using. There's a lot of them out there, and it's almost overwhelming. It's almost overwhelming for a realtor to say, gosh, there's so many options out there. Pick one. It really doesn't matter. There's iExact. There's Wise Agent. Another one I like called Lion Desk. And all these ones I'm showing you are all under $40 a month. Some of you have Top Producer, but you need to have a database where you have a gathering of contacts that you can share content with, that you can share listings with. Now, we talked about, you don't know where those people sit in your database. You don't know what value they are. Would they refer you if they had the option? You need to know that. If they needed to move, would you be the first one that they would call and say, hey, we need to find a new place? A CRM is simply a software program that lets you measure your tribe, that lets you keep in contact with them, that lets you, keep in front of them, so that you are, most people know about 10 realtors. I don't know if you knew that. I mean, that's not a surprise to you. There was a joke that a realtor got pulled over in the state of California, and the officer pulled the realtor over, and they said, "Oh, I like to I'd like to see your license and your registration." So I have my realtor's license. And so they go, "Oh no, everybody has one of those." So the idea is, there's lots of realtors, and you don't necessarily know where you stand with the people that you meet. So it's good to ask questions. You can ask questions when you meet people and say, "Hey, may I get your contact information? I would like to stay in touch with you and be a resource for you." A lot of times I look at, how do I say it? The real estate window is a small one. The real estate window, when you're working with a client, that window is very narrow. It's okay. So you say you got a home, you're selling a condo, you're selling in Laguna Woods in Southern California in the senior community. These homes are selling in about 60 days. So that window of that transaction that you might represent that client is probably, I could say maybe, I don't know if about 120. I'd say probably 60. I'd probably say 90 days. So that someone's thinking about putting their home on the market, they meet with you, you do a comparative market analysis, what the home is worth. You go ahead and generate. Okay, so we're going to put it on the market, but we've got to stage it first, which is so important. We've got to take photography. We have to get our flyers ready. We have to load the listing. And by the way, you can load a listing in your Realbird account in preliminary mode, so you're ready to go. You can actually, and this is one of our guests I'm watching, Richard Wright from Nashville, Tennessee. This is something that he's done. He actually does a pre-listing where he takes the listing connected with a YouTube video. If I'm not mistaken, Richard, you could correct me if I'm wrong, and is able to add that listing to his Realbird account and then share it a pre-listing, in other words, a coming soon listing, so that that listing can dominate in the search engine. So when people type in that address, it's the first one that comes up. Now, you might not know that. You maybe do notice that when you put a listing in like the MLS, um, when that listing goes live, usually within 8 hours, there's 25 to 30 different versions of that listing in different reiterations, branded by different brokers or agents across the country and then found in the search engines. And Richard found a way to be aggressive in his area. He can do that. He can go into RealBird. Let's see if I got RealBird open here. Give me a second here. I'm going to pop onto the right screen here. This one, oh, there we go. Okay, so you can take a listing, and I'll grab this one here, and you can post it. RealBird doesn't care if you post a coming soon listing. No, so your own brokerage or board may be more restrictive about that. But if you can do it, you can launch a listing, create a single property website. This is a version of one. This that was one that we did last couple months ago, and it's still on the market for a glider port, believe it or not. Some FAA certified glider port, pretty cool, and it's commercial. Maybe many of you didn't know that you could do that with not just residential properties. So you can actually launch a RealBird listing coming soon, and then I think Richard says he generates a YouTube video and connects it to the single property website that's creating RealBird, and then it'll actually dominate and show up at the top of the search engine. It's pretty cool. Okay, so if you look at the window of opportunity, of the window of time, that window is very small. And it's very easy for a client, whether they're a buyer or seller, for them to see your value within that window. And you have to ask yourself, okay, I want to have more value in the life of that client more often, just than when they're in the throes of the transaction. It's really easy for someone to see your value within that window because they see you're working hard. You're putting the sign out, you're creating your single property website, you're sharing the listing everywhere. On your website and on your LinkedIn, Pinterest. Did you know you could do that? Did you know you could take your listings? Here's this listing. This is Susan Rupert. She's in State College, PA, and we create because I do help her do her marketing. This is not hard to do. This basically what this does is it creates the single property website in Pinterest, so you can actually pin that. Let me show you how to do that since I'm talking about it instead of just talking about it. So you'd go into your single RealBird. Here's a live active listing. And what you do is have your Pinterest open in another tab, logged in as you. And if you click at Pinterest, it's going to say, okay, where do you want to pin it? And you can see some of the listings that she's pinned before. Oh, it's easy to pin. Cool. Upgrade now? We'll do it later. So the idea is having a value with that client outside the transaction window. And obviously RealBird can help with that, but RealBird is property specific. Okay, RealBird is property specific because it's about marketing a listing or marketing a successful close that you've had. But you need a database so that you can manage those relationships. So I think what is powerful is when you know an area like this State College area. I mean, Susan owns it. I'll just show her website real quick because we leverage. Let's see. We leverage with her RealBird, her past sales, and use that in RealBird. So on her website, she has a place called About and Have List with Susan. So you might have seen this before. This is one of the most powerful things is you can share an online portfolio of your sold properties. And look at these properties. Here's a lot of them. If you're going to list and sell or buy or sell in the State College area, she's your gal. She's been very successful. And here's examples of that in variety of price ranges. Here we have to the more expensive ones at the top, but this shows you she can be trusted to be successful helping you because these are all single property websites she's created in RealBird, and then she's marked them sold, and she's done a really good job. Now, you need to be able to show that and share that. Well, here's the other thing. If you have a database of people, uh, that might be one of the things that you want to share. When you're sitting down with a listing appointment with a client, they want to know that you have more than the MLS, more than just sticking a sign out in the front yard and saying, and put the flyers in the flyer box. Of course, right now there's a lot of snow in this area. Probably the flyer box, those flyers are getting kind of soggy. Okay. Well, of course, Realbird has its own uh, flyers, and they're virtual, so they never get wet. You might not know that. So, I'll just show you. And this is a sold listing, but I'm just going to open it up so you can see that. So here's a single property website. And by the way, people can get the flyers for these. Here, I'll click print flyer. So what this does is takes the information that you've entered, and then this is available where you can actually scan it with a QR code and have this listing that I got this off of taken right to your phone, optimized for your phone. So the idea is you need a database so that you can say to the client when you go list with them, but even before I go live with this listing on the MLS, I'm going to send this out to my network. And your network can be what? The people in your sphere, your past sellers, your past buyers, your business partners. There's 27 different trades that touch a transaction. I don't know if you know that. I could probably generate that list and share that with you. I have a copy of that. Because that, to me, that's part of your tribe. When you could say to the seller, I'm going to take your listing and share it in my own network outside of the MLS. I'm not just going to rely on the MLS. Anybody could come in here and list your home in the MLS. I have a network of people that I'm connected with and who know me as a professional. And you might print out that list, something about a listing presentation where you can bring physical things to lay it out. Here's my stack of, you print out your database of 500-600 people and say, hey, this is something that I will share with them because they know someone. There's a good chance that I'm going to be able to find a buyer for your home, even before I put it, even before we go live on the MLS. That's something you could brag about, but it's going to take a little work to do that. But to me, when if I'm a seller, I want an agent working as aggressive as they can to market that home. I feel like we talked before. Last time we talked about people. Sometimes realtors don't understand that when that house is for sale, that people are naked to the world for that. I mean, in other words, their home is open. It's like eyeballs are looking inside their home. Someone took off the roof and somebody's always looking inside while I'm, getting dressed or relaxed by the couch or playing with my kids. So knowing that you have a system in place that's going to get that home exposed in a more secure way, faster, that's going to mean a lot to someone. That's what you can bring to the table. And I think some of you, some agents haven't taken the time to realize how powerful that can be. So where's your database? Do you have it in a software? Do you have it in an Excel spreadsheet? If you don't have it, start collecting it. And I've seen so many agents worry about, I got to get the right CRM. CRM stands for customer relationship management. Basically, you're managing that relationship with that person. And a CRM is a place to have their contact information. When do they sell with you? What house? What were their interests? Or what do they buy with you? What are their needs? How often do people? I shared an article of that recently, Doug. How often people, different parts of the country, how often do they move? I think the average is about seven years. So it used to be 5. It's closer to 7 now. So that person in that database, they talk about what is the value of your database. For your database, a potential depends on the selling price or buying price in your neighborhood or in the neighborhood of the clients you work with. But if I'll just give an example. Susan's average sales price, I think, is about $280 in State College. So you say 3% of that, right? Okay, so that's $9,000, and then with fees, about $6,000 to $8,000 is a side of a commission representing a buyer or seller average in her marketplace. So if she has people in her database, every 7 years they should be generating, okay, minimum, at least you got the one side. If you're selling the house and you find the buyer too, it might be double that. But think about the value of that person's. Okay, so say they move every 8 years, because State College is a little bit slower, smaller metropolitan area, definitely not a San Diego or a Los Angeles or San Francisco or New York or Orlando. So say $8,000. So basically, a client in your database has a value, has an annual income value, okay, of about $1,000. Okay, you break that down a month, okay, it's at $800. It's 80. Okay, so about $80 a month. So I've seen real estate agents that leverage tools, and they think, oh, I can't afford a database, a software management system. And by the way, all the leads that you get from your listings and your MLS search, whatever, they should go into your database. And RealBird, the leads you generate from RealBird can go and be put inside your database as well, so that you can manage your clients. Okay, so if you have, we talked about what's the value of your database. I talked about this agent in West Virginia. Excuse me. She's looking to retire soon, and I asked her, well, who's taking over your business? Well, she has someone that's going to be taking over the leads in the business. And missed opportunity. She's been in the business 30 plus years. And I'm going to share with you, if you have people are moving and you're in your database and they know you're professional, and you know that they would work with you because you've kept in contact with them and you shared your listings with them, and you've shared real estate information, and you've been available to do a CMA or talk to them about their home and all those things, that value is $80 a month. And if you have, say just 100 people in your database, that means the value of your business. Okay, how did I do that? See, so say 100 people in your database, $80 a month. Think about that. So that's what that $8,000 a month is, the value of that database. And I was before I was a real estate marketing coach consultant, I had a landscape business, and I built landscape businesses, and I built commercial businesses, and you could sell a commercial business. You can a landscape management company. Typically, you could get 5 to 6 months of income. That's what it would be worth. So if you had a route that was, say, $20,000 a month, you could sell that for about 12 grand. In other words, so what is the value of your database? And if you're looking to retire, you want to sell that business. You don't want to just hand it over and going to keep trickling in the referrals. So that's why a database helps you. A database helps you determine who your customers are. Do you have to stay in contact with them? Yes, in the way that they want to be contacted. Because some people won't only want email, or some people might only want something mailed to them. It's just different. You need to get people into email as much as possible, and of course, within social networks like Facebook, makes it even easier to stay connected with people. But I'm going to tell you that the value of your business, quickly you can see the value of your business is not just the commissions you generate on a yearly basis. The value is in the people and their ability to refer themselves to you, and then of course refer other people to you. That's something I really appreciated. I took kind of time out from my consulting and coaching for 6 years back in 2000, 2007, and worked with one of the leading real estate coaching companies in North America, Buffini and Company, and worked with Brian Buffini, and was actually a coach that worked like with 80 agents at a time, and consulted and coached them how to grow their business. And of course, his take on this business is build by referral. And of course, everybody works by referral. There's nobody that doesn't work by referral. Everybody works by referral. Just some people are better at it. Is it the natural way to go? Yes. A lot of these things that we're doing, building listings, putting your profile in different places, hoping people find you, in a way, that's marketing to what we call the haven't mets. You got to market to your have mets. That's kind of what we're talking about today. How do you market to your have mets? And I'm tying RealBird in here where it fits, and to help do that. So it was kind of interesting taking Brian's take on building a database of people, and then qualify them. Are they an A? Are they a B? Are they a C? Or are they a D? A being, like the people that would refer you most, or that that would refer you if real estate needs came in the world. A would be basically, that person would refer you because you're that tight enough with them. They wouldn't go and hire their aunt or uncle or brother-in-law to help list their home or help, even though they're realtors, they're going to come to you because you're the professional. B is people in your database. You might qualify them. B, you're pretty sure they would. You've done business with them before. They talk to you and they look to you as an authority. C, they're in your database. You don't know how they got there. You know who they are. They know who you are, but you don't know if they would pull the trigger when they stepped into that transaction window every 6 to 8 years, needing a real estate. Would they? They're in your database. You know who they are. You have their contact information. About them. They might be in a business circle or a personal sphere, but you don't know where they stand. And a D would be people that in your contacts that you have. That's like, I don't want to work with that person. I know their sister's a realtor, and I know they'd go with them. Or you had a bad transaction with them or something, and you say, hey, that person's toxic, or I'm toxic with them, and it's a D. If you're collecting information, it's those people you need to let go. But it was interesting in coaching that concept of something that everybody does naturally, and putting a bit of a system to them. But it's kind of interesting. I still have a lot of friends that work there, even though I left 10 years ago. There's quite a few people I know that are still in that business there. And what's changed in the last, I'd say 3 to 4 years, that even Brian I've heard admit, is people can still refer you. Most of you are doing business right now by referral, whether you have a system to it or not. And the key that I learned with when I was coaching and consulting with Brian's companies, you just putting a system to it of teaching people how to give you referrals. Now, do I believe it's their job to get you referrals? No, that's your job to get business. But if you can empower someone and make it a win for them and a win for you, to let them know that you're never too busy for the referrals, or hey, who do you know that I might be able to help? There's nothing wrong with that. But here's the interesting thing that's kind of changed in the last 3 years with everybody going online and starting their search there, is that they trust. They might trust you and say, oh, Gabe, you told me, Susan would do a really good job for me because I need some real estate services here soon. But they're still going to go online and search for Susan Rupert, and the question is, are they going to find her? Where are they going to find her? Are they going to find her reviews? 5-star reviews. Are they going to be able to read what people say about her on Zillow? Are they going to find her website? Are they going to find her, her listings that are shared everywhere on Pinterest and Facebook? And, this is something I set up for Susan. Because it's an app that you can search in the iTunes store, and it's an app that I found for her because she's really connected in her place with local businesses. So I found her a company that does an app for her where she puts all her connections on there, kind of like her own Angie's List, and it's an app that you can actually find in the iTunes store. And guess what? People download it, and of course, every time they look and they have that app in their store, they're connected to her. So anyway, it's just one of the kind of off the wall. Not a lot of agents do that. Her LinkedIn profile, how many people are in her network, how many she's sharing on Pinterest. And anyway, so guess what? That person, no matter how much they trust Gabe for that referral to go to Susan Rupert, that's what's changed is they'll still go online and they'll trust what they see online. And that's the main reason. Well, we talked about that last time we were together 2 weeks ago. And by the way, you can get the recording of that part 1 as well. Is you got to take control of your online profile. It's being seen more than you think. I can't tell you how many agents I go there and I start working with them in their marketing and find out they're with Keller Williams now. But everywhere I find them online, there still has Coldwell Banker connected to them. You got to take control of that stuff. You got to be consistent with your brand. And yes, realtors move. That's a reality. It's not going to change, But take the time to search for yourself, find out where you are, and take control of it. And there's no excuse not to do that. Now, we've already talked before all the different places that you can be. These are the places to start. There's many more, but to me, these are some of the more the better places to be. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I think it's real important to take control of this. Okay. Because by the way, the search engines and Google are already trying to put the jigsaw to puzzle together who you are. Take control of that. Build your profiles out in these places. Let me give you an example. I know many of you might talk about Truly or Zillow and say, they look like my enemy. Well, they're not your enemy. They are trying to exploit you, yes, for your listings, and that's true. But you got to exploit them back. I had Susan. She had a Zillow profile, but she wasn't doing much with it. So I helped her build out her Zillow profile to where she was getting reviews. And the year was 2000, I guess 14. In 2014, she got like 12 reviews. She asked people to review her, and some of the clients did it on their own because they can do it on their own. So go to Zillow and say, hey, this is who I am, and Susan just worked with me, and she did a great job. Okay, so at that time, Zillow, she was not a paid, what they call a premier agent. Premier agent is someone that's paying to have preference, so their profile pulls up in Zillow when people are searching in the zip code or in the area. So right now, she is a paid member of the premier agent within Zillow, but she followed my advice at least. What I tell my agents when I coach them is use these tools, exploit them back, okay? And use the free stuff first till you make money off it. And then if it find it, it's a good return and a good partnership, sure, invest in it to get more. So her first big year was, I think, 2014, and she had got 12 people reviewed her. In that year, she generated 4 sales that came from Zillow. She was not even a paid member, but because they saw her reviews, they saw that people trusted her, that she did a good job, and it worked out. The people trusted her. Now, and then once she saw that, hey, okay, Zillow for me is working. I am how do you say it? It's a partnership. In other words, I'm getting something good out of it. They're getting something good out of it. Then take advantage of with things. And of course, now you can't do a simple 100, 250 a month. If you want an area that you want to be able to be consistent in, nowadays, what you have to do is you have to commit to $500 a month for a 6-month period. That's a lot of money. That's not a little bit of money. That's a lot of money. But you have to measure it. Are you getting the business? It's just an extension of you. It's an extension of your marketing department. That's how you have to look at it. Now, am I telling you guys to just go out there and spend $500? No, I'm not saying that. A lot of the things I'm sharing with you, they take time, but don't necessarily take money to be successful. Okay. So, and by the way, these reviews, she's got these reviews right here, since 2014. And she's done a really good job, and almost every single one of them is 5-star. Now, I do challenge her to do this: comment back wherever possible, where your testimonials are. Answer back, because they will post that once they approve it. They will post it. And this is really, really important what you say here, because people will read this, but they'll also read this. They want to know, get that response back. By the way, even if you get a bad review, because you can't control what people review about you. She didn't hold a gun to these people's head. She didn't say, "I'll give you a free Starbucks, coffee card if you'll say something good about me." She didn't say that. She did a good job. And you got to trust yourself and trust the system. That's what you have to do. Okay. So I just wanted to share some steps that you need to take so that you're making sure that your RealBird is decked out, that it's fully filled out, that it's working properly. These are some notes here, and I'm happy to share those after their meeting today with you. But take the program here and do it all the way. Put your profile, put your logo in, fill out the profile, add the logo, add all your listings. Yeah, active, pending, and sold. I don't care. You also have a property search within RealBird. Define your property searches and use them within your blogs, within your website. Use the RealBird to post your listings to everywhere. Now I can do that with Susan's site. I've set her website is statecollegeparealestate.com. I use a tool called Jetpack. There's other tools you can use. But when she has a listing, I create that in RealBird, and then RealBird gives me the code to put it in her website and create a post. And I can do that here today. So anyway, this happens to be WordPress. You might have a website that's not WordPress. That's okay. You might do this a little bit differently, but I like WordPress because you can get one up pretty fast. And you can see that what I've done is I've set her website up so that it connects to Facebook. This looks like this one needs to be refreshed. So that when I create an article, and I'm going to do that right now, so I'm hoping I can activate that right now because I want to show you something live today instead of just me jabbering away talking with you. I want to show you how you can syndicate that. Okay, let me see. I got in my browser here. No, here we go. There we go. Got her linked in here. There we go. Okay, so coming over here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so good. We're logged in there. Good. Okay, so I just refresh your settings here. So you need to think about that. You're building a network of people that know you as a professional, and so that when you have a listing, you can share it, or that you could build a following, build your tribe, so to speak. Hope I have the login here so I can be fresh with this. I want to refresh that connection. Look, I'm doing this on here on the flyer. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay, so what I want to share with you, say for example, I've got a lot of tabs open here today. I want to share this listing. This is a listing that I want to share, and I just want to show you how you could do that. I think a lot of you are taking the listing and might just be leaving it in Realbird for it to travel the internet on its own and gather buyers, and that's fine. But you could do so much more than that. Okay, here, let me so. Gabe, I've got so many of my windows open. Okay. So let me get in here, Realbird. There we go. Had it covered. Okay. So we need some more traction on this listing here. Out of here. Okay. Let's see. This listing has had a lot of views, but let's see if we can put some more views. It's active. It's a country home. It's on 8+ acres. And I'm going to go ahead and just grab this right here, embed on Active Rain and blogs. So this is an active listing. I'm going to generate this code, and I'm going to create a post and then share it everywhere and show you how quick I can do this. Okay, so I'm generating the code. Okay, I'm going to highlight everything in that box, turn it all blue. I need one image, a photo, which I actually have. I think I like this better. Oh, I like this road here. Yeah, I like that. How cool is that to have a driveway like that? Okay, so let's Kamola. Name. Okay. So Realbird gave me. I went to the Realbird area. I wanted her listing marketing. I went to her active listing. She has 2 right now. This one just closed, so actually sold in a day. We still created a single property website for it, and it's still being seen as sold, but it's still published because we want to dominate. This happens to be an area that she specialized in, Park Forest Village, which is kind of like a subdivision or community within State College, and she dominates in this area. So we want to show that. So that's real important. That's why even though this one's been sold, it's off the market. It sold fast, and we put there sold in 1 day, and we still share that everywhere. Okay, so we're going to the active listings. Here's the one I'm doing. I clicked embed on Active Rain, grab the code. Now I'm going to actually go inside her website, and it's right here. And I'm going to create a post. I can do that. And you can see I've already put in the slideshow from Realbird of the listing right here on the front page. This is the little widget I created at Realbird where it sold in 1 day. Okay, so you can see I still need to refresh your LinkedIn connection. But um, country home on 8 acres. And believe me, there's a lot of people that want to get away. I think a challenge with this property, because it hasn't sold yet, is the mineral rights don't convey. And in her area of Pennsylvania, that's a big deal because there's a lot of people, uh, pulling natural gas and oil out of the ground. Pennsylvania, big time. And the owner of this property wants to keep the mineral rights. So that might be a challenge. But anyway, we're gonna do our best to market this property. Now I happen to be in WordPress, so I have text which is the same as like HTML over here, and I'm gonna paste that code that Robert gave me. Okay. All right. This one happens to be in Gamola, which is really a country home. Not not. I'm just marking a category here. I'm gonna. She does rural property, so I'm gonna add that as a new category and check it. Okay. So next I'm going to go down and add a featured image. Just happens to be a post. And see, when I post this, it's going to go everywhere. Upload the picture. I can need at least one picture to go on the front, right? And let's see if I can find it quickly here. Sometimes I have to refresh my browser a little bit. Okay, almost there. Let me see. There it is, Gamola. There's the road home. I like that. Set that's my featured image. Now what I've done already is I've gone and paste this code here in the HTML or in WordPress it's called text. If I go visual and you get an idea preview of what that's going to look like. Okay. And now if I publish this, I'm going to go ahead and share it on LinkedIn separately. If I go ahead and publish this, I've got a headline. I've taken the content. In a way, what Realbert has done is just formatted this listing for me. Put the slideshow in there, link to the maps and photos and feature and description. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and publish that. And when I publish that, I want to see if we can see how quickly this gets shared. Okay. So first of all, we want to see that listing on her website. And by the way, when you have sellers, I realize that your website is to gather buyers. When you put a website up for yourself, you want to attract the people that haven't met to come maybe searching for properties, looking to see what you have for sale. They're probably not coming to your website to look at a specific property that you're already representing. I mean, you could think of it that way, but that's a bit selfish and small-minded for a realtor to think that people are just going to come to their website to see their featured listings. But you put your featured listings on the front page, not for the buyers who don't know you. That's for the seller to, that you have the seller showing you seller that you're being aggressive with their home and putting it and featuring it as a home. That's why you do that. So okay, here's this listing. I put the slideshow of that listing as well. So this is now a post on her website. Let me go pull that up so you can see that. Now, when you set up a website, these tools can still be shared. This listings can still be shared. But I want to show you. Let's see if it. I want to see if it showed up in our Facebook page. And so you need to think about things that you can do to leverage your time. Okay, how long did this take to do this? I did it a minute ago. And you watch here, and she's pretty active in her personal side. That's one thing I'm learning is the more active you are in your personal side of your Facebook, that actually builds your sphere that see your business page. So that's why it's important to have a business page, and it's important to be active in Facebook if that's one of the places you want to generate leads from. Okay, so that listing is there, and of course it can be shared. And if we come back to this in about 5 or 10 minutes, we'll have 10 or 15 people that are already viewing this. That's been my experience. See, typically when I share things from in her Facebook from her website, this is typically the reaction she gets, people that are reading it. Okay. So, LinkedIn, I always have to do manual because I have to refresh that. But I want to go to her website. That was we saw that that went out to Facebook, Twitter. And see, this is like this. This is kind of like the syndication that Realbert does for you, because Realbert does a fair amount of syndication of that. This is steps that you can take quickly and do that. So see, there's already her listing there It went in a small version, larger version. If you click on it, it goes right back to that listing. Google Plus, that article should be showing up there. So the idea is you want to share that everywhere. Now, what else we have? Oh, Pinterest. Well, I already have the listing in Pinterest, so I've already shared it there. Okay, so what I was going to do is go in here and show you how it can be shared more. So I'm going to go into the listing actually, and see we've already liked it here, which is good. We can tweet it. Oh, that's another client's thing, so I just posted that listing on their board. I mean, on their Twitter feed. Sorry, that's okay. Just more people add to the sphere. You could share this within LinkedIn. You could share this with a Google Plus. I'm logged in as a RealBird, so that won't work. Anyway, look at all the different places you can share this. 198 more, and you could share it to all these different places. Now, don't be overwhelmed by all those things. Just set some steps in motion. When you get a listing, take great photography. Get details about the property. Write out a full description. Please do that. So many realtors use in everywhere they can share that listing. They think the same, like Susan has a 900 character limit when you see a listing in her MLS. It's just 90 characters. That's including spaces. And you don't want to just be stuck with that. You want to do the detail about the property and write complete sentences. So the idea is you need to be aggressive and take control of your profile. We talked about that 2 weeks ago. But then also you need to be building a database of people that see you as an expert. You need to be always gathering information and always updating. When you got someone on the phone, oh, hey, if you wouldn't mind, I just have some details, some contact information. This is can I take just a minute or two just to make sure I have the right information? If something comes on the market that I think you might be interested in, maybe they're an investor or thinking to move or sell or whatever. You want to be able to say, hey, it's important when things come up. I'd like to be able to get a hold of you and share that with you. Can you please help me update your addresses? Is this your address? Is this your email? Is this your best phone number to contact you? That is something that few realtors do, and the ones that do, it really makes a difference. And get a CRM. I don't care if you know Lion Desk, Wise Agent, Top Producer. A CRM is one that works is the one you use, and no software is perfect. How it works is what you put into that database, you can get out of it. It's not just going to work because you buy it and spend money and run your card on it. And add those leads that you get from RealBird. You can put those into your database so that you can manage them. Okay. Any questions? I shared a little more strategy today and how to leverage resources. But I hope you're taking advantage of RealBird and that you're building out your profile. You're posting your listings. You're sharing them everywhere. You're starting to build a list of people that see you as an expert. You need to think about that. You need to think about doing a newsletter, gathering names. And I know it might be overwhelming to say, I don't have time to do that. I'm out just helping people buy and sell. If you're that busy enough that you can't do it, then you can set some money aside to help promote yourself and pay someone to help with that. It's not hard. You just gotta introduce it into your habits of what you do. But I'm sure not all of you want to be selling real estate to your 95. At some point, you're going to say, hey, I want to get out of real estate. Well, to me, your database is something that that documents the value of your real estate practice. And you have to think about, believe there are dental practices, and I talked to me about being a commercial landscape contractor, and when I sold my business, I sold it for about a little over 50 grand. But people that have a real estate practice or that have a attorney practice, they sell them for big bucks because they have value in the marketplace. Okay. Someone has a question. Go ahead and put it in the chat box, and I'll see if if anybody has a question, we want to make sure we answer before we shut down our workshop today. We have recorded our session today. I hope you learned something. I've shared with you my experience, and I ran my own business, not a real estate business, but I ran a couple of my own businesses and still do. And so I have perspective on what it takes to be successful. So any questions, Gabe? Were there any questions that didn't get answered? Do you want to make sure that everybody's questions got answered? Okay. If I made this offer on the last webinar we did, but if anybody wants to chat with me and I can send them in the right direction, see where they are, and meet with them together on the phone and computer, and a couple of you took that challenge up within the last week, and I got it together with you to talk about what you're doing and guiding you in the right direction so that you can make sure you're working smart, not just hard. I already know you're working hard. I've never, most of the realtors I've connected with, they work really hard. And we want you to work smart too. And that RealBird is a smart tool. You saw that little bit of leverage that I did. By the way, just sharing that listing through the sharing tools. I have her network all up. I don't know how deep her network. I got a general idea, but I know if this was me and I'm sharing her listing and I have all my tabs open where I'm sharing that listing like I showed you by clicking the add one, and my network, I'm sharing that to about 550,000 people because that's how deep my networks are that I built through my social media and the different connections where my business profile is. Okay, so that's the power of that. And then, of course, we can sit down with a seller and say, hey, you know what? I have a database of 5,000 people that I'm going to expose your listing to, so that we can sell the home for the highest price the market will bear, quickest amount of time for you, and the least amount of trouble you and your family. And that's where to reach those goals. Well, thanks everybody for coming to the webinar. Hopefully you learned something. If you want a copy of the notes, you can just email me. Webcoach. I'm Eric. It's webcoach@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. If you want to meet together, and I can give my best expertise, advice to share where to go and what to do, what's your next step, what you should be doing to take advantage of these tools to leverage your brand and your tribe and who you are. I'm here to guide you in that direction. Okay. Thanks everybody. Have a great week, and it was a pleasure being with you today. Thanks for listening to my long-winded discussion, but hopefully you got some nuggets out there, some next steps, something popped up in your head that you say, hey, you know what, I need to do that, and I need to take that next step or that next step. Then there's value in you being here today. And some of the things I shared with you won't pop up in your head till later. And then when they do, write them down. Take the next step. Build your business so it has value. Remember, we talked about the value of someone in your database that might work with you, or that pretty sure that they'd work with you. Probably a value about $80 a month. Annual value of that client about $1,000 of commissions to you a year. That's powerful. 100 people is times, I can't do math fast. That's a lot. Yeah, if you have 100 people and they have 1,000, that's $100,000 value a year. So, but you have to build it so that you can monetize that, so you can clarify that, so you can anchor it, so you can own it and claim it. Okay. Thanks everybody. Have a great week. We'll talk to you the first Friday in April. We'll be back. If you need help, give me a shout out here. Okay. Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.